Hi there, my name is Emma, and in today's lesson, we're going to talk about words you can use when you get angry. Okay, words that you use when you're very mad. Okay, so all of these words have something in common. Okay, I want you to look at these words: gets to, winds up, piss off, work up, tick off, blow up, freak out, lash out at, fly into. What do these words have in common? Well, all of the words I am going to teach you today are phrasal verbs. So you probably know what a verb is. A verb is like an action. A phrasal verb is a verb that has a preposition with it. Okay, so words like to, up, off, out, at. These are all prepositions. Okay, so a phrasal verb has a verb and a preposition. Now, phrasal verbs are very, very common in English, especially in speech when we talk. This is one of the things that makes English a difficult language. We have a lot of phrasal verbs, and the preposition, so like up, off, the preposition at the end of the verb actually can change its meaning. Okay, so for example, if I say get up, get down, get on, get off, get to, get into. Each of these words, although we use get as the verb, each of the prepositions actually change the meaning, okay? So today I am going to teach you a bunch of phrasal verbs that have to do with when you get angry. So to begin with, let's look at these phrasal verbs that have to do with cause, okay? And then we will look at the result. When I talk about cause, this is like the word because. Why are you angry? This is the reason why, okay? So I'll give you an example. One thing I really don't like, I don't know why, but when people go crack, 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 or when they crack their neck, right? I hate that sound. The sound of cracking, it might be strange, but I hate it. It makes me a little bit angry. Okay, when I hear cracking, I feel like this. So let's look at some ways we can talk about this anger. I can say cracking gets to me. And I've drawn a person here because gets to a person. Okay, can you think of something that gets to you, meaning that makes you angry? What is something that makes you angry? What is something that gets to you? Okay, I want you to think about that. Gets to you has the same meaning as the next one. I can also say here cracking. When people crack their fingers, it winds me up. So this is me. Cracking fingers winds me up. Okay, maybe there's something else I really don't like. Politicians. Okay, when a politician lies, it makes me very angry. So I can say, politicians, they wind me up. They make me angry. When I was a kid, my brother and I used to fight a lot. My brother always was able to wind me up. Okay, so again, this is something that makes you mad. Another way we can say this, piss off. Okay, this one is a little bit less polite. These ones are all right, but this one is a little bit rude, so I wouldn't use it in front of children, but it has the same meaning. Okay, you can definitely use this with your friends. Politicians piss me off. They make me angry. What else makes me angry? When people spit on the ground, it pisses me off. Okay, it makes me angry. So I want you to think about something that pisses you off, that winds you up, that gets to you. We can also say work someone up. Okay, oftentimes, my brother, he knows how to annoy me. He knows how to get under my skin, how to make me mad. So my brother works me up. Okay, So this means he knows how to make me angry. And finally, you can say tick someone off. Okay. For example, maybe you have a teacher and the teacher does something and it makes you very angry. You can say, the teacher ticks me off. Okay. Maybe there's a celebrity you don't like. Maybe you don't like Celine Dion. Or maybe you don't like Mariah Carey. I don't know. If you don't like them, you can say, Mariah Carey ticks me off. She makes me angry. Okay? So all of these mean make angry, to make someone angry. And pay close attention to where the people are. You can replace this with anything. For example, too much TV. Watching too much TV gets to my mother. It makes her angry. When I watch too much TV, it gets to my mother. It winds my mother up. Okay, so you can change this with any person that's applicable. Okay, so now let's look at the result. So after you have become angry, what happens? Here is the result. All of these have the same meaning. Okay, when you become angry, usually maybe you might scream. Maybe your face might turn red. Maybe you might swear or you might say bad words. Okay, these are things that happen when you're angry. If maybe you're drunk at a bar, you might actually get into a fight with someone. Things that happen when you're angry, these are the results. So if I'm angry and I'm very angry, I might blow up. Okay, so I could say, when I'm angry, I blow up. I scream, I shout. Children, when they get very angry, they blow up. They go nuts. They get very angry. You can also say freak out. Yesterday, my teacher freaked out. She was very angry. She yelled at the students. She freaked out. The teacher lashed out at me. The teacher was angry at me. The teacher lashed out at me. The teacher flew into a rage. Okay, fly into a rage. The past tense would be flew. My teacher yesterday flew into a rage. All of these mean the person screams, shouts, yells at you, and turns red in the face. It's when they get very, very angry and you know someone is angry. You can use any of these. Hopefully, if you get this angry, afterwards, you will calm down. Calm down is a phrasal verb, which means you will relax. You will feel peaceful. Okay. Another word that has a similar meaning is chill out. If you tell someone to chill out, it's a little bit rude, but it means you're telling them to calm down. Calm down, chill out. If you blow up, someone will probably tell you calm down. If you freak out, they'll tell you chill out, calm down. Okay? So these are all phrasal verbs we use when we're talking about getting angry. Now, I hope you don't get angry that often, but just in case you're watching TV, maybe a movie, these expressions do come up. So it's very good for you to know them. And then if you do get angry, you can also use them there. So I invite you to come check out our website at www.engvid.com. There you can actually do a quiz where you practice these expressions. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have many videos on pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, and many other subjects. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you haven't flown into a rage. I hope you haven't blown up, okay? I hope this video hasn't pissed you off or hasn't gotten to you, okay? And I hope you've enjoyed it. So until next time, take care.